Hey, is your kid not the stud athlete that you wish they were? You played sports back in the day, or maybe you didn't, and your kid is just like not there. I want to show you a few things that you can do and talk to you about how you can make your kid a better athlete. This is especially for those parents who, your kid's like 8, 9, maybe they're a preteen, even a teenager, and they want to play sports, and you want to be able to give them an extra okay? So I got 4 things for you today that you can do as a parent to help make your kid a better athlete so they can have more fun in sports. Because what I'll tell you from back in my days when I was younger and I was not as athletic, and as I got into college and ran track in college and started playing sports post-college, that being a good athlete makes sports so much more fun. And it's not fun when you suck. So here's 4 things for you to do to be able to make your kid a better athlete.
Number 1, your child needs to be able to run well. Unless your kid's going to Penn State on a wrestling scholarship or like LSU for a swimming scholarship, running probably matters to the sports that your kid wants to play. Running is going to cover 2 main components: being able to run fast and being able to run for duration. Being able to do those 2 things gives your child a huge advantage when it comes to going out there and competing with other kids. Most kids that are really athletic, they tend to be fast, and a lot of them tend to have some good endurance. Now, while there is a genetic component to speed, a lot of that can be taught and improved through good coaching and repetition. Being able to understand the positions of running and how to sprint really fast help a lot, and being able to have a lot of repetition helps you be able to do it well. So, what does that look like? We're on the track right now. A lot of you have probably been on the track, whether you ran track, you played a sport that involved you being on the track, or you come up here to walk. Being able to run one length of the track really fast is pretty good. For your maybe your 9-year-old daughter or 13-year-old son, if that child can run one length of the track or half of the track even at full speed without like jogging, that's a pretty good measure. The other piece of this is duration. You gotta have some duration. In these sports, there's a grind involved to it. There's a lot of repetition. Being able to practice for 2 hours takes endurance. Being able to make the big play in the game when you're tired takes endurance. So your kid being able to have some endurance means a lot. What does that look like? Maybe have them go out and run for 5 minutes straight without stopping. Increase that to 10, 15 minutes without stopping. Can your kid come out on the track like this and run 4 laps, aka a mile? Can they do that without stopping? Those are some good benchmarks to be able to show how your child's athleticism is improving. And if your kid can show up to a soccer field, a football tryout, ultimate frisbee, rugby, and be able to run fast and have some duration to it, they'll have a role in that team so long as they can just pick up the skills to play that sport. Because most of the best players on these teams, they have the endurance to grind it out, and they certainly have the explosion to make plays.
Number 2, your child should be able to manage their own body weight, and if they're going to be really good, be able to excel at their own body weight. While it's great that there are 12-year-old girls who can deadlift 300 pounds, which is like, wow, that kids can do that, your kid doesn't need to be able to be a world-class weightlifter to be strong. What does that look like, though? That's being able to handle body weight exercises like squats, lunges, push-ups, pull-ups, jumping, and do that well and for duration. So I'll show you a few exercises that you as a parent can have your kid do. For the sake of brevity, you can read right here and you'll see, what good benchmarks are for your kids to be able to do. So squatting, chest up, butt down, keep that back nice and flat. And you should be able to do this well and also be able to go for some level of duration, okay? Check right here. Lunging. Being able to start with a reverse lunge. Get that chest up, knees down low to the ground. Good slight forward angle here. Also, if they want to progress up, being able to go into a forward lunge. All right? Forward lunging is a little bit more aggressive on the knee. Reverse lunging is a great way to start out and then progress into walking forward in a lunge. Can Can they lunge sideways? Can they lunge in a rotational fashion and twist their body? We're very big on being able to rotate down here at GHP. Sports and life happens side to side and rotating wise, so a lot of our training is not just forward, back, up, and down. So we're very big on can a kid rotate through a lunge. Also, good old-fashioned push-ups. And your kid drop down and give you 50, okay? Now, your teenager should be able to drop down and give you 50. But your kid's starting out in fitness, 20 push-ups is a great benchmark. Also, being able to do, 30, 40 in a minute, also awesome. Pull-ups. Now, depending on the age of your child, if they're like 10 years old, they should be able to do a pull-up. If they're 12, they should be able to do a pull-up. Once puberty starts to kick in, then things get a little more tricky. Weight gain, they may or may not be keeping up with the weight gain. Boys tend to be a lot stronger at 15, 16, 17. So those kind of boys should be able to do over 10 pull-ups. But your teenage daughter who's playing a sport, she should be able to do a pull-up. These are great things to do. Now, if they cannot do a pull-up, a great exercise is to just pull up and just practice falling really slowly. And do that over and over and over again. Importantly also to sports and your child's fitness is, can they jump? All right, can they jump straight up and down? Can they jump out forward, and can they cover 20 yards without crumbling over? Okay, can they jump on one leg? Can they go side to side? These are great ways to measure how well your kid is, and these are exercises that you can go out and have your kid do as well. All right, so I hope this helps out, being able to work on that body weight strength that also helps with sprinting, cutting, changing direction. Number 3, you want your kid to be able to move from side to side well, shuffle well, and importantly, be able to change direction well. Now, there's a lot of videos, thousands of videos you can go on the internet and find about people doing different stuff to train from all these different change of direction drills. What's important here is that your kid can do the basics of moving in a 3D plane, okay? So, what does that look like? Being able to shuffle well and move from side to side. Maybe that's shuffling forward and back. And they're able to stay in a very nice athletic stance, very responsive. That also can look like changing direction. So, very basic cutting. The important part of being able to cut is being able to stop. If you can teach your kid to be able to stop well, it'll help them be able to cut very well. As a parent, you can also step it up and have your kid now practice being able to weave in and out cones. And there's different ways you can do this. I'll show you 3 here. You can go with being able to run forward and be able to cut around them. Being able to shuffle between the cones. Being able to backpedal and brake and run through the cones. While you can find a lot of stuff on the internet about how to work on your kids' agility and reaction speed, for you as a parent, these are some great basics to start with, and being able to get your kid to move in the 3D plane of sports and be able to keep up with everybody else and excel beyond them.
Number 4, your child needs to be exposed to a variety of different sports and have experience playing them. Now, there's 2 big reasons for that. A, being able to have a variety of sports that you play can help with decreasing your likelihood of different injuries, especially injuries that revolve around having a lot of repetition. So, now, the second reason you want your child to be introduced to a lot of different sports is to improve their breadth of athletic skill. There's a lot of research that shows that a lot of college and professional athletes have been multi-sport athletes. A lot of them, played one sport in the fall, one sport in the winter, one sport in the spring. Maybe their favorite sport they did extra in the summer or something along those lines. But a lot of them played multiple sports. Now, a big reason for that is it really gives you a good understanding of athletic movement. Being able to play a field sport, a court sport, a throwing sport, being able to practice running track. These help build blocks up to make you a good athlete. It helps you acquire skills better. Now, some kids are really talented and they pick up on stuff really well. That's not most of our kids. They need more reps to understand stuff. But having more experience and more athletic building blocks speeds that process up. I'm going to give you an example here. You have two kids. They're both entering their sophomore year of high school. One kid is, he's not really well trained right now. He played a little bit of basketball in 5th and 6th grade, might play basketball on the street here and there. Hasn't really gotten into working out throughout middle school. So now he's 15, wants to try out for the rugby team. There's another kid who's trying out for the rugby team. And throughout all of middle school, this kid did football every fall, he wrestled in the winter, and he ran track in the spring. When he was younger, he would do track in the summer, and as he got older, he started playing football in the summer. Different 7-on-7s, flag football. Now, these two kids go out and try out for this rugby team. Which kid do you think is going to, A, have a higher chance of making the team, and if they both make the team, have more of an impact on that team? So let's take our kid who is not really well conditioned. He doesn't have a big base of athleticism, so he doesn't really know a whole lot of skills very well. He doesn't innately know the skills. He's also out of shape. He's not really, he may or may not be fast, but he certainly doesn't have duration or trained sprinting in him. The other kid, he ran track. He understands how to run. He may or may not be really fast, but he certainly can sprint. He also probably has a good amount of duration, not only because of his track background, but because he plays sports all year round, and all the sports require him to grind it out and be in shape. And football, if he's playing football, he understands field sports and spatial awareness with people on a large field. So he knows how to weave in between people, understand how to manipulate movement. He might not be able to tell you that here, but it is something that's within him. From wrestling, he understands close physical contact. When you're playing rugby and you're in a scrum, you got to be able to be comfortable and understand how to wrestle with somebody else. He understands that. So being able to do those things allows him to show up on that first day. He's fast. He may be faster than a lot of kids on the team. He may have just as much or more endurance than a lot of kids on the team. And he can pick up on the sport itself a lot better because he has skills from other sports that allow him to transition in rugby well. So that's a good reason I want you to consider your child playing a lot of different sports.
Hey, I hope that gave you some great clarity on how you, as a parent, can help your kids succeed in sports. It's not anything too crazy, but being able to have your kid run well, being able to handle their body weight well, and being able to be explosive side to side and change direction well can really help them with all these sports to build that bucket list of skills that as they get older, things just get better and better. If you have any need for clarity, please shoot me a line. I can certainly send you whatever I can find that can help you out that we do. Hey, also down here at GHP, we do a lot more than just those simple things. We really help advance your kid in being able to be strong, being able to change direction well, and be more explosive. We really work on being able to help your kid be a better athlete. If you want to find out more about how we can help you out, please shoot me a line at any of those links and we'll get you in touch. We'll get you down here to check it out. I hope that information helped you out. I hope your kid does well. Talk to you soon.